Hi everyone, so this video is just some really bad news about where I'm at with my BMW i3. So it was all fixed and everything at Ace Auto Centre, that was fine. And then I made a mistake with it when I was removing a connection from the 12-volt battery. I forgot to switch the car off properly. I believe it was in sort of, I don't think the high voltage battery was switched on. I think it was just the car itself that was just sort of in the like sort of neutral state. I don't think it was in drive mode. But anyway, I was removing a connection from it while it was in that sort of state, and the connection for the 12-volt battery to the rest of the car actually wasn't good. And when I moved it, I just saw some small sparks around the connector, and the car lost power briefly, and then power was restored. And then after that, well, it was done. The car wouldn't start again. And then I uh, tried to sort it with the ISTA on the laptop, and I accidentally put an older version of the software, and then we had a programming abort on whatever control unit it was, which meant that the car wouldn't switch on like at all. So as soon as you connect to the 12-volt battery, you just had a situation where the iDrive would start up, and then the climate fans would turn on and nothing would happen. So that part of it was my fault. I should have followed the proper procedure when disconnecting the 12-volt battery, but it's ridiculous that disconnecting a 12-volt battery would destroy a car like that. It's insane. But that's German engineering for you. So now it's down at BMW, because I thought they would be able to reprogram it, but they've put a big fence around it, and they've condemned the car as unsafe because of the work that the trained and certified professional at Ace Auto Centre done on the car. Because he opened up the EME and replaced the fuse and then replaced the air conditioning compressor, BMW think the car is unsafe. Now, the guy down at Ace Auto Centre is a trained professional. He works on high voltage powertrains and normal cars for a living. He fixes Teslas, Renault Zoes, all sorts of things. And BMW think that the car is unsafe. So what they want to do is replace the EME, replace the air conditioning compressor, and potentially replace the battery as well. All because someone else has worked on the car. So this is the situation you're in with your electric car. If anyone else works on it, your dealer's potentially going to pull this trick on you, where they just want to replace everything that anyone else touched. So if you've got an electric car, then this is what you could potentially end up with if you're not competent enough to repair absolutely everything on it yourself, or you don't have another sort of competent person who could do that for you. You're basically in some ways stuck with the dealer, who will pull cruel tricks like this on you. So that brings me on to the ENV200 range extender project. That's probably not going to go ahead now because if I damage something by mistake and then the van packs in, and then the guy down at Ace Auto Centre is unable to fix it, or I'm unable to fix it, then I take it along to Nissan. They could potentially do the same thing. So I'm not in a financial position to be able to do that project. Now, if I had a different car at the same time and I had more money, then I would be happy to go ahead with that project, because if I damaged anything, I would be able to get it repaired eventually. It would just take a long time for me to get the parts and for me to train myself up to know what to do to get everything running. And just in the unlikely event that I broke it with my modifications. So yeah, unfortunately that project's a no-go, so I'm just going to be focusing on my motor controllers and product design now. I haven't been doing the product design because I was focusing on this range extender project and how I was going to do it, so I'm a bit behind on that. So yeah, I just have to say in conclusion that even though this last thing was my fault, still choosing a BMW was the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. And especially the BMW i3 is one of the worst design cars I've ever seen. And in my opinion, they are only good for scrap. They're only good for the parts that are in them, which can be taken out and put into other projects. As a car, they're just a ticking time bomb and a liability, which will, in the long run, financially ruin you if you don't get rid of it right now. So, if money's no object for you and you're happy to take the thing to the dealer, and at the end of your warranty period, if they decide that you need a new battery or a new inverter just because a fuse is blown and you want to pay for that, then that's up to you. But I certainly wouldn't be. So really, if you've got an electric car and it's out of warranty and you need to get it repaired, you're stuck paying thousands out to a dealer, or you get it repaired yourself and then eventually something goes wrong with it that only a dealer can fix, and then they pull this sort of trick on you. Now, this may apply in some situations to petrol and diesel cars as well, but so it's not unique to electric cars, but this is a problem that's going to get worse. But yeah, the i3, it's just a horrible car, unfortunately. It was okay when it was working, but it is a huge liability when stuff starts going wrong. So my advice is, if you've got one and it's working, sell it. Get a Nissan Leaf or something, because they're a lot easier to repair. I think you've seen some of the videos I've done on the ENV200. The Nissan Leaf similar. It's got all the space around it, and there's a high chance that anything that goes wrong with that car can be repaired with not too much labour from an independent garage. But yeah, I'm not going to go ahead with the range extender project just now until I've got a bit more money behind me, because this BMW i3, I'm absolutely done with it, and I just want it out of my life as soon as possible. So someone's going to come on Monday and pick it up. That's if BMW aren't holding me to ransom. I think what they're going to do is charge me a lot of money for their so-called procedure to make it safe to go in the back of a truck. And that procedure is pulling the service disconnect in the front of the car. That disables the battery so that it can't output power. So that the only way that the guy loading it onto the back of the truck is going to get killed is if he opens it up and starts licking stuff or whatever, you know. So I think BMW have been ridiculous about this, and I'll just have to phone them on Monday. And the sooner the car's out of my life, the better. It's been, choosing a BMW was a huge mistake, and it's been costly mental health wise and financially. So I hope no one else makes the same mistakes as I did.